Howdy doody. Time for some AFL team lineups. What's the big news this week? Round 23, the final round of the year. Wow. What a season it's been, eh? What a season it's been. And Michael Hurley is getting a farewell game. Good for you, Mikey. I think he's a two-time All-Australian, so that's pretty cool. Gets to have one last run. Kinda sad, though. I think he's hasn't played for 3 years or something. Tom Atkins managed. Jeremy Cameron injured. Some relevance there, maybe. Not really too sure. Greg Clark is injured. Jai Cully's back in. Good for you, Jai Cully. Tim Taranto's back. Jacob Ware is still not going to be cover. If that's what you're worried about, you got issues. That's me. Aaron Hall omitted. Wow. I love it. Imagine if I brought him in. I seriously considered it. Really did consider it. In fact, I would have done it if I had the money. I mean, it's at the point now where, it doesn't really matter. How disappointed can you really be? What are you going to do in 1 week? There's 1 week left. That's crazy to think. Just the 1 week left. Walsh and Cripps are playing. George Hewitt named on the bench, but he will play. Paddy Dow, Medi Sub omitted. That's sad for him. He was Supercoach relevant for a couple of years. Well, he got picked by a lot of people. Sadly for them, I was one of them. Not last year, though. I didn't get baited into it last year. That was probably when he was most... what do you call it? He betrayed us the most last year. Dan Hanbury, I think he's going to play his last match. Kind of a sad story, versus Sydney. So does that mean Todd Goldstein got named? Because they said he had an ankle injury, but he's playing. So I was going to actually trade Toddy Goldstein out. But now, looks like everyone's going to play. Jack Sinclair. Why does he not have a green tick? Is he not sure why he doesn't have a green tick, but he's all good. Luke Parker, probably the same situation, I presume. He's playing, so everyone's going to play. How do I spend my last trade? So we can think that Jack Sinclair's going to get tagged by Ryan Clark. We just want to make sure. Is that his name? Ryan Clark. Yep, he's playing. So he's going to go to Sinclair, which means we're going to get rid of Sinclair. But then there's talk about Brayshaw possibly getting tagged by Perryman. So we're just going to have a quick look, make sure that probably Harry Perryman's going to play. And, of course, Andrew Brayshaw, I should say, is being named. So it's really a question of who's going to... Where can we get the biggest swing? So let's just have a look for fun. We could go Jack Sinclair to George Hewitt or Jordan Dawson. However, Jordan Dawson's playing Port Adelaide. Not that he didn't score well against them last time, but he did, I think, get tagged apparently by... was it Sam Berry or someone tagged him in the showdown last time they versed Adelaide. Port Adelaide. We got Doherty going into that barnstormer with Collingwood. That's not a bad pick. But at this point, you just go for whatever's fun. Who cares? I mean, might as well go 5-round average. Not going to do Tom Barrass. Brandon Ellis against North Melbourne? I mean, that's just stupid. I'm not going to do it. Be 67 the last time they versed each other. Nah, not really interested. But he's been in fantastic form last 5 rounds. Good for him. Probably have to go Jordan Dawson out of the options. With a sneaky look at Angus Brayshaw versus Brisbane. Or otherwise... I don't think I'm going to ignore that. Oh, round 15. That's pretty good, actually. Not sure if he had gone into the midfield yet, but wow, look at that. It's really solid. I might actually just go him. Go Brayshaw. I mean, you get to use him as a defender. Sinclair to Brayshaw. Probably just do that. It's kind of fun. Himmelberg isn't even about that bad of an option. Hewitt against Collingwood. Coming back from injury. Probably not going to go there. So it's either Angus Brayshaw in defence or Jordan Dawson. Or maybe Doherty. I don't mind Doherty. He has a big ceiling, actually. Jordan Dawson. Who do I just don't want Dawson because I haven't had him up to this point, and I know if I get him, he's going to go shit, and I'm just like, huh, yeah, classic. So probably not Jordan Dawson, just for that reason. I mean, might as well go the rest of the season without him, considering, when you do get someone in for a couple games that you haven't had the whole season, it's just whatever. It never makes that. It doesn't make up the ground that you lost, that's for sure. Anyway, well, we could do Brayshaw, who's apparently going to get tagged by, what's his face? Perryman. And players we can afford by average. Now, Darcy Parish is the one. Yeah, just do Darcy Parish. I want to get him in. Well, he's burnt me this year, but I like him against Richmond. Last game of the season. Yeah, I think that's the biggest potential for a large swing is Darcy Parish. He's the one who's probably got a higher ceiling than what Angus Brayshaw. Maybe Jordan Dawson has a very high ceiling also, but sorry about that. Has the potential there to get tagged, of course. Parish isn't going to get tagged with merit in the team. So yeah, I'll probably just do that. But is Brayshaw definitely going to get tagged by Perryman? I'd say probably. You'd say probably. So, whereas we know Sinclair's going to get tagged. That's the thing. It's like an absolute guarantee Sinclair has Clark on him, and it's a hard-ass tag. Yeah, you know what? I'm actually just going to do Sinclair. And I know it just doesn't even matter at this point, so I don't know why I'm tossing and turning, but who's funner, Angus Brayshaw or Jordan Dawson? I think Angus Brayshaw's funner, so just do that. And we'll see how we go. You'll probably end up getting an 80 and Sinclair will get like an 85. And I'll be like, huh, cool, classic, that's me this season. Sums it up well. So I don't even remember really what happened last week. Oh yeah, we'll have a look. Oh, I went up 10 spots. Cool. So I did better than average. Or at least what you might call par. The people around me. So, yeah. Shit season. Top 5%. Pathetic. Top 8,000 probably. If I'm lucky. It's a sad, sad story, state of affairs. Does not warrant this video whatsoever. Todd Goldston in the forward line. It's a shambles. It's a shambles, but who really cares anyway? At this point in the season, no one actually really cares that much about Supercoach. That's one thing we can probably all agree on. Supercoach is dead. Anyway, even if I was top 1%, it would still be boring, so oh well. What it does mean though is you can start watching games and not caring about the players in your team and also the players in other people's teams, and it creates a completely different viewing experience, which is so much more enjoyable, particularly when you're in, top 8,500 and you're like, yeah, cool. Anyway, the games themselves, when you take Supercoach out of it, which most of us probably are doing because we don't have much to gain unless you're like about to win the whole #1 prize. Let's have a look. Who is about to win themselves $50,000? I mean, that's pretty awesome if you're one of those guys. That completely changes things if you're one of them. So there hasn't been a rank change for the top 5 people. How close are they? So Ray Margu has pretty much secured himself the victory. Let's have a look at this guy's team. So this is the guy who's going to win it. He's got Dawson and he's got Laird, I bet. Where's Laird? He doesn't have Laird. Oh yeah, there he is. Of course he has Laird. What are you talking about? He's got Short and he's going to win. Wow. And he's got Bailey Dale. I have both of them, and they're both fucking flops. Never agains. That's the basket I'd put both of them in. These are my never agains. And that's because they burnt me last year and this year. Jaden Short, Bailey Dale, Andrew Brayshaw, Sam Walsh. Never again will I ever pick any of those players. Jack Sinclair, I will pick 100%. I'd also pick Jordan Dawson. I would also probably pick James Sicily, but wouldn't start him. I don't know. He's probably been arguably the most consistent of all of the players, other than maybe Jack Sinclair. Low score of 84 for the entire year. I would say Jack Sinclair, I think he got a 70 at some point. And, every single score is between a 147 and an 84 from James Sicily. What a beast. I'm going to probably go back, well, I'm not going to do this, but if I went back through all my videos and picked out all like the little gems that I had but didn't capitalize or opt for those opportunities, latch onto those thought processes, it's pretty remarkable. I said I had James Sicily in my original starting team. However, I panicked and I hated Butters so much that I swapped him to Rowell, and then that allowed me to go from Sicily to Whitfield. What could have been, eh? What could have been? So yeah, it looks like this guy's going to get first and this guy's going to get second, barring some sort of calamity. You just have to see if there's anyone that stands out. He's also got Dale and Short. What the heck? Did I click on the same person twice? Is that what happened? No? Is this my team? Am I looking at my team? No, they've got Rory Laird and Jordan Dawson. Have a look at that. They've got the exact same team. So, this guy's got Callum Mills and Ollie. What? This makes no sense. Ollie Wines has an average of 103. Like, sure, his 5-round average is okay. It's a great 3-round average, but how do you win the whole competition with Ollie Wines, Jaden Short, and Bailey Dale? That is just confusing. Will Brody's not been very good the last few rounds. He's got Tim English as an emergency. That's pretty cool. That is very cool. Oh, unless he looped him. But I don't think so. Anyway. Great team and everything, but like, I think you don't want Jaden Short. I can't believe the winner had Jaden Short. That's incredible. Anyway. Just goes to show you can't like blame your position on a few duds, because it looks like everyone to some extent has a dud or two. You just need to like limit how many there are. And when you have the likes of, none of them have Stewart. Interesting. They've got Dale. Dale's been trashed. Well, for me, not that bad, but he has like dropped the worst scores of his season. His 2 worst scores of the season since I got him in. And it's like, classic. In fact, other than that 86, his 3 worsts, in that 87, his would have been his 3 worst scores of the year. And he only ever went, 118 is pretty solid. 105, 103, whatever. 5-round average 96, not really good enough, to be honest. But heck, good enough for number 1, so what do I know, huh? Nevertheless, I've got Todd Goldstein. No one has Todd Goldstein. That's what you can guarantee if you're going to win the comp. But, worth the lols for 2 rounds where he went 120 or 130 plus. I was like, hell yeah. I knew it. I knew Goldie was the man. 120, 135. I also got that 120, which was pretty cool. But every other performance was kind of terrible and not worth it. Anyway, let's leave Supercoach for a moment and have a little look at the actual games that are coming up. So we've got Brisbane versus Melbourne. I looked at the ladder, and basically, will this work? I think I have to Type this in, AFL table. Okay. So we have Melbourne versus Brisbane. And what's really good about this round coming up, which, I mean, not only is it the final round going into the finals, it's, I guess, the chronology, like the sequence of the matches works out really well with not having your fate yet secured based on the matches that are still yet to play. So the most obvious example, I guess, is game number 1, where obviously every other team hasn't played yet. Melbourne versus Brisbane. So what it means is, because Collingwood haven't played, there's a chance that the loser will not make top 4, which makes it such a juicy, feisty contest, let alone Melbourne and Brisbane have been playing some absolutely brilliant contests in recent years. So that stands to be an absolute barn burner, and let's hope it is. So Angus Brayshaw into the midfield. Hopefully he stands up and has a big one. I think that midfielders score okay against Brisbane, and for that reason, I'll be putting my VC on Oliver, and I will put my captaincy on Touk Miller against North Melbourne. I did that. I put my VC on Touk Miller when he went for his big fat score against North Melbourne earlier in the year, that 167. That was pretty fire. But Rory Laird went like 150 and Max Gawn went 197 or something around there. So softened the elation a touch. Anyway, the next game that we have that's relevant, we've got GWS and Fremantle. So Fremantle themselves, in fact, if Collingwood lose and Brisbane lose, Fremantle winning would actually put them into the top 4. So we know one of Melbourne or Brisbane's going to lose, and then Collingwood get to play. So Fremantle are essentially playing for top 4 as well, or potentially, if, and it's reasonable to think that, Carlton beat Collingwood, which would be pretty cool. So that's a feisty contest, and GWS are known for being feisty themselves, capable of an upset, and generally put up a big or a solid fight, irrespective of if they're, not going to play finals or whatever. And someone who I've been super, super impressed with is Stephen Cornelio, who I was expecting to drop off and be like, screw this, we're not going to play finals, and the coach is gone, and I don't know who this new guy is, but he's shown up, man. He really has. Ever since old mate got kaputted, he's gone, look at that. Look at this. I mean, that's better than probably half my mids. Not even kidding. Look at these scores. It's particularly that 174 and that 140. So he's been absolutely phenomenal. Having a player like that being a forward, absolutely fantastic. So shout out to Cogs for not dropping off as one might expect, given his history. Particularly like last year, I mean, he averaged like 56, and he didn't even play that few games, maybe like 8 or 9. So anyway, good that he's sort of brought it. What else have we got? We got North Melbourne Gold Coast. That is just absolutely dead match. No one cares about it. Doesn't mean anything in terms of the finals race. And guess what? It overlaps with game number 2. So we don't have to watch it. It goes on in the background and we go, hey, Touk Miller's got another 40 disposals. Great. Cool. Todd Goldstein's got 3 hitouts against Jared Witts. Classic Goldie. And then we've got another terrible game that means nothing. Geelong versus West Coast. What can we pull out of that one? We can pull out Shannon Hearn having a big one. He's a cheeky number. Should I go Shannon Hearn? I mean, what's he? Can I even afford him? It'd be funny if I couldn't. Shannon Hearn's 111 average. Have a look at Tom Barrass with the 124.5 round average. That's fire. There's no Jeremy Cameron. Does that help? I think it does, because I think kick it on the head of a player. Jeremy Cameron's not that type of guy. Jeremy Cameron's probably more of a lead forward type, where you sort of have a really, look at that, 1, 2, 3. I wonder if he's been getting the disposals or it's all been marks. It's too risky though. Although he's had a fantastic season other than that. 18, probably got concussed or something. Oh, no, he didn't play the next round. But anyway, not going to go there, probably. But Shannon Hearn, maybe? What's he got? I heard Eno saying on the Fantasy Take podcast that he would probably go with Shannon Hearn just because he's going to get so many kickouts and all that. He's been phenomenal. I mean, he's turned up in all but 2 games since round 7 in the 130s, but he hasn't versed really good competition. I mean, he did go 109 against Geelong. That was at Optus Stadium. I just don't like the... I know that some people think it might be good that Geelong's likely going to absolutely dominate them, but they might take their foot off the gas. And, well, yeah, I don't know. I was going to say, if they get dominated and they're playing at GMHBA, I think that's what you call it, Geelong's home ground. It's a skinny ground, and if they put a lot of pressure on, then he's going to have little time on the ball, and that might put him under pressure, and he might not have as efficient disposal. So that's like, I don't know, consideration number 1. Consideration number 2 is maybe Geelong know they're playing finals, they're going to win the match easily. Jeremy Cameron's not playing, maybe there's some other outs, and they sort of take their foot off the gas, don't play so seriously. I think Tom Atkins isn't playing, he's being managed, I think we saw earlier. So under consideration number 2, maybe he gets less kickouts because they don't dominate them as hard. And it's like, is this making any sense? Probably not. So can't wrap my head around it. Just going to stick with Angus Brayshaw having a good game because they probably kind of need him to. Whereas Shannon Hearn having a good game is kind of like he himself might need to if he wants to get another contract. If he's off contract. I presume he is because he's probably like 45 by now. But what a beast and what a servant. And he's actually been an awesome, incredible Supercoach pick for donkey's years. So good for him. Essendon, Richmond. The only way you're going to make that game entertaining is by picking Darcy Parish. So we know Jaden Short's going to have another flop game. He went 108. Oh, incredible. I mean, he's back to his old ways. Nah, just wait till he plays against Essendon and we might be saying something different. He's disappointment of the century and he'll probably show us that. So let's see what we got here. If they win, maybe they're not going to move up, but so they're either going to be 7th or 8th. So winning will secure 7th and mean that they verse Collingwood. Wow, you know what's incredible is Richmond could end up versing one of Melbourne or Brisbane. That's pretty amazing. Depending on other results. So that one's a bit, they're going to be versing someone that's probably going to beat them, no matter what. So who really cares? Adelaide versus Adelaide. The showdown. Oh, always feisty. Ollie Wines said something juicy in the media. Didn't read the quote. Didn't really care. But if you do, go check it out. But yeah. What it really boils down to is this. Western Bulldogs, Hawthorn. You expect the Bulldogs to win, but you never know with the Bulldogs. They can lose a game you expect them to win. Definitely wouldn't be outside the realm of possibility. And then the big fat omega big one that you just simply cannot miss is Sunday, and this will be after the UFC has finished. It should probably go right from the UFC straight into this game. So Sunday's going to be a big one, boys. It's going to be absolutely gangster. Carlton versus Collingwood. This is what it all comes down to. Now, I crunched some numbers, and what I found was that even if Carlton lose, they won't necessarily fall out of the 8, even if Western Bulldogs win, right? So if Western Bulldogs only win by a small margin and Carlton only lose by a small margin, Carlton will actually stay in the 8 because of the percentage. If Carlton had a lower percentage than Bulldogs, then it's like a really easy equation. But I think it needs to be something like a difference of, let's say, 30 points, maybe 20. I didn't go too crazy into the maths, but somewhere between, let's keep it safe and say between 15 and 25 points as a culmination of both the amount Bulldogs need to win by as well as the amount Carlton need to lose by in order for the Bulldogs to go up. So if the Bulldogs are in a really tight contest, then that kind of changes things in terms of the, I guess, how much is riding on the, well, not how much is riding, but how much of a buffer Carlton have going into the Collingwood games. What we really want in terms of it being a epic spectacle is for the Bulldogs to put a beat down on Hawthorn this Sunday whilst the UFC is going on, whilst Leon Edwards is putting a beat down on Kamaru Usman. Everyone's saying that Leon Edwards is a $4 to 1, even worse than that, $4.10 to 1 underdog. But guess what? Usman's 37, he's actually 35, but he's over the hill, his knees are done, he's told us that, he can't run anymore. What's he done? He's versed Masvidal twice, Covington twice, who else has he done? Gilbert Burns, I'll give you credit for that, that's epic. But I mean, Masvidal twice, that's not a title defense, he's got 5 in total against 3 people, and people are trying to call him the greatest of all time, and it's like, bro, come on, what's he actually done? He's really not been that impressive apart from being completely undefeated and never losing once. That's, low-key not bad. But guess what? Leon Edwards, he's actually first in before and beaten him, but that was 7 years ago. Leon Edwards is the young buck coming back to avenge a loss that's probably been eating away at him, but he's the one who's evolved far more, and he's far younger. Maybe Edwards might be 31 if I had to guess. And he's just in better shape. He's got the length. He's actually just a superior fighter all round. Like, if Usman can't take him down, which these days it's not that hard to stop someone taking you down, to be honest, unless it's Khabib or Islam Makhachev, then you can stop them taking you down. And if it's on the feet, Leon Edwards is by far the better striker. For me, it's an easy one. Leon Edwards is actually the clear favourite, in my opinion. But hey, we'll see. I'm going on record and saying it, not putting a bet on because that's not my style, but I'm going to put a pretend bet on of $25 on $4 to 1 Leon Edwards. So we've got $100 riding on this, boys, and we're going to pretend that we just won $100. And whilst that's happening, Western Bulldogs are going to put a beating on Hawthorn going into the most epic game of the season so far, Collingwood versus Carlton for the Chocolates, boys. I actually think what I want is after what happened to Carlton last week, with what a game that was. There's been some fantastic home and away games this season, but that game, I thought Carlton were going to get there for sure. Keziah Pickett ends up kicking that goal right at the end. It was so heartbreaking. It was hard to watch, but really brought out a giggle in the end from me because it was so epic. And then he flexed like such a little, I don't know, I don't like Keziah Pickett after he did that, not particularly anyway. After he scored that goal, he flexed on that guy, and I was just like, bro, that's not my style. Good on you, expressing yourself and all that. It's cool. It was in the moment and all that, so I appreciate that aspect of it. But come on, mate. You're what, 20 years old? You're the guy he was flexing on could probably beat him up. But he did kick the winning goal, and he can do what he wants after that, I suppose. So anyway, I don't like Keziah Pickett, I guess is what I'm saying. Well, not that much. A lot less than other players. So what am I trying to say? What I'm trying to say is after that it was heartbreaking for Western Bulldogs, it was heartbreaking for Carlton, but it'll all be worth it in the end for us as the viewers getting to watch them overcome the adversity that they've faced, which has been as much as anyone could face. Seeing Michael Voss, who looked like he was for sure going to make finals this year, go into the final game of the season, possibly being, I don't know who's favourites or whatever, but possibly being underdogs to even make it, particularly if Bulldogs obviously have a big win against Hawthorn. They'll be underdogs to actually make the finals going into that game, and they will have to come back from behind after what they endured last week. It'll be the most epic of occasions. The MCG might even be, at least 60,000 plus. It's going to be one for the ages. So after Leon Edwards knocks out Kamaru Usman stiff, I'll be watching, and I hope Carlton in the end win the game, because that's probably the most epic timeline. Western Bulldogs in the finals, I'm not actually that interested in seeing it. I don't see them as a worthy top contender. I don't think that they have that much to offer, but Carlton I think are a little bit more of a dark horse challenge. They've got the depth in the midfield. We'll see if Matt Kennedy comes back as well. And I think they've just got a little bit more dynamism with Kerno as well as Mackay. I think it's a better combo than Norton and Bruce. And yeah, defence, they've got Doherty back there. Lockie Young had the best game of his season or possibly career last week. They're really sort of, they've got like the actual list and the team and the dynamism that you sort of need in a team that's capable of an upset, where I feel like Bulldogs they've got the midfield of the century, but other than that, everywhere else is a bit, I don't know. Like Bailey Dale's obviously really good, but he's more of a distributor. He's not like a big key defender type or anything. So, anyway, hoping Carlton get the chocolates. Hoping Edwards gets cleaned up by Leon Edwards. Sorry, Usman gets cleaned up by Leon Edwards. We'll see what happens. You know my predictions. And yeah, wish you all the best. Yeah, on to the next one, eh? One more video. We can do it. Alright, okay, have a good one. See you later.